There's no question that Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra had an absolutely incredible, over-the-top wedding. But now that the literal fireworks are over with, these two need to get ready to settle into married life. They had a whirlwind romance for sure. But now it's time to figure out what rules they need in order to make their marriage a success. Some people think of rules as confining, but in a healthy relationship, they can be a great way to ensure everyone is getting their needs met. You might be surprised to find out what rules Nick and Priyanka have agreed on. Health. Most marriage vows involve some version of the couple promising to love each other in sickness and in health. But health is something that both Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra take extremely seriously. Unfortunately, Nick has a pre-existing health concern, which he's been dealing with on his own for over a decade. Nick has been open about his battle with type 1 diabetes, and how it was a serious struggle before he got it under control. Before his diagnosis, he just kept losing weight due to all his high blood sugar and felt terrible and exhausted all the time. But when he found out what was going on, he was able to take steps to control it, and today is much happier and healthier. In fact, Nick also co-founded Beyond Type 1 back in 2015, which seeks to educate and empower those living with type 1 diabetes and give them the resources they need in order to manage their condition effectively. While Priyanka may love Nick no matter what, she wants him to take care of himself, especially due to his diabetes. She's praised him for being so open about it and his desire to help others who may not be so lucky. Social media. Social media can be a double-edged sword for celebrities. On the one hand, it's a great way to amass a following and make some extra cash selling detox teas. But on the other, it can feel like a serious invasion of privacy. But despite this, most celebrities can't resist the allure of social media, and they even use it for many of the same reasons we do, including checking up on people you're interested in. Many celebs prefer to keep their relationships on the down low. But Priyanka and Nick have made social media an enjoyable part of their relationship, and they're not shy about letting us know. Lots of women post videos of Nick in concert, praising his talent and good looks, and Priyanka is one of them. She's not afraid to let everyone on Instagram know that she's always rooting for her man, and Nick is sure to pay her the same respect. He loves posting photos of the two of them. He's also admitted that even though they're married, he still follows her Instagram page religiously. In a bad relationship, social media can put a strain on things, but in a good one, it's just another way to say I love you. Going public. It turns out that Priyanka Chopra had a bunch of rules regarding her romantic relationships before Nick came along. Priyanka is used to being a high-profile celebrity, and as such, has come to appreciate her privacy. She prefers to keep her romantic relationships on the down low and likes her private life to stay private. It's a tall order when you're a celebrity, but it's something that has always been important to Priyanka. That is, of course, before she met Nick Jonas. Have you ever fallen so wildly in love you wanted to shout it from the rooftops? Well, Priyanka definitely has, and admits she broke her own rule to be with Nick Jonas. From the moment they met, he was over-the-top excited to be with her, and she realized she had no hope of keeping their love under wraps. So instead of abandoning ship, she ditched her old rule and decided to go public with the news that she was dating Nick. Priyanka knows that more often than not, being involved with a male celebrity means a woman is reduced to being his girlfriend or his plus one. But she had faith that Nick would support her and treat her as an equal partner, and that the public would soon follow suit. Support. If you've ever glanced at Priyanka Chopra, you would never imagine that it would be difficult for her to find someone to date. And that's without taking into account her considerable talents and intellect. But according to Priyanka, dating has been a considerable challenge to her because men find her intimidating more often than not. When she was a little girl, she used to love the story of Cinderella and would dream of meeting her Prince Charming someday. But her father told her that she didn't need to worry about finding a pair of glass slippers, and instead should be more worried about breaking the glass ceiling. Wise words from Dad. According to Priyanka, it seemed like every man she met just wanted to hold her down and stop her from realizing her potential. She believes that they felt threatened by her success, and this led to negativity in their relationships. One thing Priyanka loves so much about Nick is that he's always there to help polish her crown, instead of dimming her shine. When it comes to her talent and success, he is nothing but supportive. Supporting one another should be a no-brainer, and it's an important rule in this marriage. Culture. There's no denying that Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra grew up very differently. Nick grew up in the United States as the son of a minister, Priyanka, on the other hand, was raised in India, where her family traveled and sometimes had to stay in less than ideal conditions. Both of their respective cultures have a lot of wedding traditions, and Priyanka and Nick wanted to honor all of them and blend them together whenever possible. This was important to the couple as they wanted to pay respects to their upbringings before starting a new chapter of their lives together. Priyanka and Nick had a traditional Western ceremony, complete with lots of Ralph Lauren, and Nick's father presiding over the ceremony. Typically, the Indian Mehndi ceremony involves only women, lots of merriment, and elaborate henna designs being applied to the hands and feet. But Nick and Priyanka decided to switch things up and make it a co-ed event so everyone could join in on the fun. The couple also had a traditional puja prayer ritual and took part in Sangeet, where their family members performed musical numbers. Planning and executing a multicultural wedding is no easy feat, but Priyanka and Nick managed to bring their cultures and their families together. Authenticity. Most of us have a checklist of sorts that we pull out when we look for love. But after all is said and done, all we truly want is someone who loves us just the way we are. It can be tempting to try to act the way you think someone wants you to. But Nick and Priyanka know that's no way to building a strong, lasting, and healthy relationship. For Nick, there is no substitute for being yourself. And that's an important relationship rule he refuses to budge on. He says, you have to be honest with your other half. That's where the beauty of a real relationship is, being able to be your authentic self. According to Nick, that was something he was always looking for in his life prior to meeting Priyanka. These two are so compatible that even others notice it as well. Priyanka Chopra says that she realized Nick was perfect for Priyanka when she first met him. His love for her shone through his every action. And Priyanka realized that Nick was just a funny, normal, simple guy who was head over heels in love with Priyanka. Being your authentic self can leave you feeling vulnerable, but it's an important part of a great relationship. Family. For many people, a wedding is more than just a couple making a commitment to one another. It's a joining of two families. Nick and Priyanka are both very close with their respective families, so spending time with the in-laws is mandatory. It's clear that Priyanka hit it off right away with her future sister-in-law, Sophie Turner, who's engaged to marry Nick's brother, Jonas. When The Cut featured an article accusing Priyanka of being a gold digger and only using Nick for his money, Sophie and Joe were among the first to speak out in her defense. Priyanka has always been close to her mother, so having her meet Nick was a big deal. And clearly, Nick impressed her. She is thrilled her daughter has found someone who loves her so much. Some people say that Priyanka and Nick got together rather fast, but they also managed to meet each other's families in rather short order as well. Priyanka accompanied Nick to his cousin's wedding, and Nick followed her to India to meet some of her relatives. It's clear that family is very important to these two, and they weren't willing to settle for a partner who doesn't feel the same way. Dreams. There's no doubt that in this relationship, Nick and Priyanka hold each other to certain standards. But both members of this couple also have rules they believe they need to follow on their own. As for Nick, he wants to make even Priyanka's wildest dreams come true, and he's doing a pretty awesome job at it so far. Back when a young Priyanka was dreaming about her Prince Charming, she dreamed of being presented with a ring from Tiffany & Company. Ever since she saw the iconic movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, she knew receiving that classic blue box was her dream. And one of the nice things about being a celebrity is that you likely have an endless stream of cash. So Nick knew he had the means to make Priyanka's dream come true. He closed down a Tiffany store so that he could take his time picking out the perfect ring for Priyanka. Proposing during her birthday celebration wasn't good enough for Nick, who wanted to ensure Priyanka had her own special day separate from her birthday. He waited until the clock struck midnight before popping the question. Priyanka's love story is even better than Cinderella's because she got to stay out past midnight with her prince. Moving forward. When it comes to relationships, it can be hard to move on, especially if you've been hurt in the past. Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra moved quickly in their relationship, but if one of them wasn't on board, this would have all crashed and burned rather spectacularly. But as we all know, it didn't. And the two married in a lavish and heartfelt multi-day wedding celebration. This definitely wasn't something they had in mind when they started talking via text messaging and Twitter. It's a good thing one of their rules isn't Nick containing his excitement, because he told everyone who would listen that he was finally talking to his ultimate crush. And when the two finally met in person during the 2017 Vanity Fair Oscars after-party, Nick knew he had to keep things moving forward. Apparently, he's not one to play it cool, because he declared in front of everyone, "You're real. Where have you been all my life?" This was definitely a little bit cheesy, but Priyanka loved that he was willing to put his thoughts and affections out there. If she hadn't been receptive or willing to put her heart at risk, this could have easily fizzled out instead of becoming such a wonderful love story. Style. Long before she met Nick Jonas, Priyanka Chopra was already a fashion icon, known for her incredible choice of outfits on the red carpet. There's no doubt that Priyanka Chopra is gorgeous and would look great in whatever she wears. While we're sure the love Nick and Priyanka have for one another is way more than skin deep, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look nice on the outside as well. Ever since they started dating, these two have had adorable outfits, from the coordinating to the complimentary. Their love story is practically sponsored by Ralph Lauren, and both their romance and their wardrobes have been wonderful to watch. Some men just don't appreciate fashion, but Nick Jonas is not one of them. Most of us remember when Nick and Priyanka first stepped up in public together at the 2017 Met Gala. Priyanka was wearing that stunning dress with an incredibly long train. There are so few occasions to wear a gown with a train, and the red carpet is one of them. Although we're sure Priyanka had a team of helpers off camera to ensure everything was fit and flared properly, Nick knew he was tasked with an important job for the evening. Don't step on Priyanka's train. Actually, as long as he follows that rule, everything else will probably work out just fine. So, what do you think about the rules Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra have agreed to follow in their relationship? Do you think they found a recipe for success? Or are these rules way too confining? Tell us what you think in the comment section. Then click on the subscribe button to get more great videos from us here at The Taco. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.